Shalom and welcome to Parsha Highlights and Insights. This is Rabbi Fischer. This week's Parsha is Tetzaveh. It continues the instructions for how to build the Mishkan, and we might say that it is divided up into 5 sections. The very first section talks about preparing the oil for lighting the menorah. It is to be clear olive oil, and the menorah will be lit every day. The second section is devoted to the garments for the Kohanim. The Kohanim have to wear special garments in order to do the service. Uh, so in this section, we are told that Aharon and his sons are to be set aside, separated. They are the Kohanim, and the garments which they will require have to be made by very talented people. And there's a mixture of fibers in order to weave them. Well, when we get into the specifics, we talk about the Kohen Gadol, with the garments of the Kohen Gadol. He actually has 8 garments. The first one is called the ephod. It's a kind of a half cape or backwards apron. It has shoulder straps. It has a belt. It is made from a mixture of fibers, and there are 2 stones engraved with the 12 tribes that are placed on his shoulders. And it also has gold settings and chains. Those gold settings on the ephod is where the stones are placed, and that will continue. The second garment of the Kohen Gadol is known as the Choshen, usually translated as breastplate, but it's not a plate really. It's made out of fiber. Once again, it's made of a mixture of fibers. It is folded, so that would suggest that it creates a kind of a pocket. It has on it 4 rows of 12 precious stones, and these stones are placed in settings and engraved with the names of the tribes of Israel. This choshen is to be attached to the ephod, both at the top and at the bottom, using rings and cords. It's a special prohibition. Do not separate the choshen from the ephod. Inside the choshen is placed what the Torah calls the Urim V'Tumim. Nobody's 100% sure what the Urim V'Tumim might be. However, we do know from later references that it is with the aid of the Urim V'Tumim that Bnei Israel can receive answers to questions from Hashem when the Kohen Gadol is present, when the question is posed, and the letters of the Urim V'Tumim light up because all of the letters are available. And then it's necessary to unscramble those letters in order to get a clear message and answer. So this is a kind of prophecy, special communication through the Urim V'Tumim. The third article of the Kohen Gadol's clothing is called the Me'il, translated as a robe or coat. It's made of blue. It is placed under the ephod. There is an opening for the head, which is woven into the pattern, and the robe, the me'il, is not to be torn. And all around the edge of the me'il is a series of gold bells and balls that look like pomegranates. We'll talk more about that later. The fourth article of the Kohen Gadol's clothing is known as the tzitz. It's a golden head plate. On it is written Kodesh Lashem, holy to Hashem, that the Kohen Gadol is dedicated to Hashem. And there's a thread of blue whereby the tzitz is secured in place on the Kohen Gadol's forehead. Uh, and it also atones for the sins or certain specific sins of Israel. Um, we are then told about uh, the kind of garments that actually regular Kohanim have also, the tunic, the turban, and the sash. There's a linen tunic, that's the fifth article of clothing for the Kohen Gadol. A linen turban, that's the sixth, and the embroidered sash, which is wrapped around the middle of the Kohen Gadol's body. So if you're keeping track, that's seven articles of clothing. There's an eighth one, which will be mentioned later. The Torah then shifts its focus to the garments of the other Kohanim, the Kohanim who are not the Kohen Gadol, and they have four garments. None of these garments contain gold. There is a linen tunic. So that's something that the regular Kohen and the Kohen Gadol have in common. A sash. They both have a sash, although there are differences between them. There is a hat that the Kohen, the standard Kohen, as well as the Kohen Gadol has. And here comes the fourth item of clothing for the regular Kohen, but which is the eighth article of clothing for the Kohen Gadol, and that is pants made of linen. The third section of the Parsha describes the process of consecrating the Kohanim for their service. And the Torah describes in great detail the sacrifices that are brought. It's a bull, it's two rams, and also matzot. All the Kohanim who are to be consecrated have to go immerse in a mikvah. The Aaron is clothed and anointed as the Kohen Gadol, and then all of the other Kohanim are clothed, and then the sacrifices are offered. One is a bull as a sin offering, one ram is a burnt offering, and the other ram is a peace offering, specifically for the investiture. It's a special korban. The Kohanim eat the ram and the matzot, and they burn the leftovers. And this process is to take place over a period of 7 days. We'll learn about the actual investiture, the actual sanctification of the Kohanim in the book of Vayikra. But now we're just told how it's done. The fourth section of the parasha talks about a sacrifice known as the tamid, the daily sacrifice. It is sheep, one in the morning and one in the evening, and it is to be a burnt offering in the morning and the evening, in exactly the afternoon. Along with it is flour mixed with oil as a mincha. Wine is offered with each as a libation, and Hashem promises that he will commune with the people from the Mishkan, specifically talking to Moshe. The fifth and final section of this parasha is a vessel of the Mishkan that hasn't been described until this point, namely the inner altar, also known as the incense altar. There's an altar on the outside, which we talked about before. That's for offering sacrifices. But inside the holy place, not the Kodesh HaKodeshim, but the holy place, in the same place where there is the shulchan, the table, and there is the menorah, candelabrum, is to be placed the incense altar. It is made of shittim wood overlaid with gold. The dimensions are in the Torah. It has rings and poles. It's placed, as I said, in the holy place. And the Kohen Gadol burns incense on it every morning and every evening. It is not a place for animal sacrifices, although on Yom Kippur, atonement is made on that altar as well. That brings us to the end of this parasha. When the Torah describes the me'il, it says that all around the hem there are to be pomegranates, and they're like balls that look like the shape of pomegranates, but they are composed of blue, purple, crimson, and this goes all the way around, as well as bells, which go all around. Uh, at least one way of reading it is that they alternate a bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate. There are other ways of reading it, but they go all around. And as the Torah concludes this section, it says that Aaron, Kohen Gadol, must wear it while he's bringing the sacrifices when he goes in, so that the sound is heard when he comes into the sanctuary. So it's important for this sound to be produced, the sound of the ringing bells, when he comes before Hashem and when he goes, so that he may not die. So this requires some discussion about the significance of making these noises. Rabbeinu Bachya uh, approaches this issue from a number of different perspectives. He says, first of all, that when Aaron enters the sanctuary, when he's wearing all of his special garments, he's going in to pray. He's going in, of course, also to sacrifice, but his voice in prayer will be heard by Hashem and be accepted. But Rabbeinu Bachya points out that in addition to the sound of his voice in prayer, there will also be heard the sound of the bells. And this is a lesson in proper manners. Namely, this is what's supposed to happen in the sanctuary, then certainly it's something to emulate in our private life. When a person is going to go before the king, then of course he has to obtain permission first from whoever's in charge for permission to enter. Well, when Aaron wants to go in to the Mikdash, so he wants to obtain permission for entering, and he does that by means of setting off these chiming bells. After all, if it's appropriate to do for a human king, it certainly should be appropriate protocol for Hashem. If somebody goes in to the king's palace or the king's throne room unannounced, that's very serious crime, as we see in the case of Esther, who says that someone who goes before the king without having been summoned and without the king showing his approval. What happened in the case of Esther. Purim is coming up, so that's an example. So similarly, Kohen Gadol, who's entering Hashem's sanctuary, the Kohen Gadol has to make it known that he is going to go in. Another reason he gives was to ensure that the angels would not interfere with his prayer. He's about to go in. It's a place where angels might be found, but he wants the angels to know that don't get in the way, don't get in the way of humans, and Hashem, who these humans are submitting their prayers. Of course, Hashem is aware of all of this, but it's a matter of a proper protocol, proper etiquette. So it would have been a breach of etiquette, a breach of proper behavior if he would have gone in unannounced. As the Rabbeinu Bachya continues, he says the truth is the sound of the bells not meant to give warning to the Shekhinah or to the angels or to anyone else that the Kohen Gadol is approaching. It was rather intended to warn the angels that the approaching high priest, Kohen Gadol, wants to have privacy during his audience with the Shekhinah. Also, to head off any chance that some angel would regard him as an unwanted intruder. So these bells, when the Kohen Gadol completes his audience in the sanctuary, tells the angels that when he leaves, then they can resume their positions before Hashem, singing Hashem's praises and so on. When it says at the end, "V'lo yamut," so that he will not die, so that's a warning that if the Kohen Gadol were to go inside without the bells, well, then the angels who attend on the Shekhinah would kill him as an intruder. And this idea is to be found in the Yerushalmi, um, and even this is even true of the angels. So the Kohen Gadol is instructed to be sure that when he approaches, when he enters, he would be heard, and that will be by means of the bells. Uh, okay. So what we've described here apply throughout the year, but not on Yom Kippur, because on Yom Kippur the Kohen Gadol goes into the Holy of Holies wearing only four garments, the garments that do not have any gold. That means that the bells are not ringing as he goes in, but the day of Yom Kippur is a day of such closeness, such exclusive connection between Hashem and his people that it would seem that this warning or this announcement is not necessary. A lot to say about the uh, bells that are to be found the uh, on the hem of the garment. And it also teaches us a little bit of etiquette about our own home. You go into your own home, make sure they know that you're coming, knock, ring the bell, make your presence known. It's only good manners. I thank you all very much for joining me in this discussion of Parashat Tetzaveh. This has been Rabbi Abraham Fischer for Parasha Highlights and Insights, saying Shalom.